Going off camera, everybody, but we are blessed and lucky and honored today to have Dr. LaShawnda Alexander with us. I'm your host, Dr. Jeff Sarnik, Associate Dean, Department of Criminal Justice here at Southern New Hampshire University Global, and taking advantage of the incredible roster of talent and intellectual capital. Today, we are, again, blessed and honored to have Dr. Alexander with us today. So, briefly, if you don't mind sharing, um, who you are, what you do, your credentials, et cetera. So the students that are watching this, and again, there'll be scores of them, they want to know who you are.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is still being safe and enjoy their Memorial Day weekend. First and foremost, before we get started, please, thoughts and prayers go out to the community of Uvalde, Texas, as well as the citizens and residents of Buffalo, New York. And I believe over the weekend there was an incident with 6 people were injured or killed or are in critical condition in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So hearts go out to those people, their families as well, and first responders with those situations. My name is Dr. LaShawnda Alexander. I've been with Southern New Hampshire University as an adjunct professor in criminal justice since 2020. Um, um, I've taught some various courses. From currently now, I'm doing victimology. I've done an intro to criminal justice course. And some students, whenever you do see this video, probably remember me from serial killers and sociopaths and psychopaths class. Um, Before I came with SNHU, I was a probation and parole officer with the state of Alabama from 2003 to 2014. I was in the field, networked with a lot of district courts, circuit courts, other law enforcement agencies, and particularly the correctional department for those that were serving parole. Did field investigation work, a lot of in the trenches and investigative reports. So I'm surprised I don't have carpal tunnel or anything going on right now with those.
No.
um, Anyone who is wanting to be in that field, and I've seen quite a few students that have had classes of mine who want to blaze the trails of being a PO, I salute you with both hands and tell you that that is a as like with other law enforcement positions, that's it's a service, it's selfless service that you're giving to these individuals that are coming back into society, or for those who might not be going to prison. The probation route is to supervise them, get them on the right track, and so forth. So that was one part of what I did. Prior to that, well, after that, with the Montgomery Police Department, started on patrol. Met that is a way to meet a lot of your citizens, those that may have businesses, residential, interacting with the community. And then after that, joined and affiliated with the Career Services Bureau, which was pretty much doing classes for police officers statewide in the state of Alabama. Actually, got some classes lined up for some officers. And when we do those classes there, they're called continuing education units. So whenever a law enforcement officer, depending on what agency they're in, if they need 12 annual hours of class, okay? So different officers from different lines of work and from higher education, or even those that are retired who are just trying to give back to the agency, so forth, we do those classes. Um, and that's pretty much it. I've been, in the, with law enforcement on different, different parts of it for several years, as well as with the teaching experience of it. I try to keep it real to those that are trying to venture into different avenues of law enforcement and criminal justice, as well as the court system, things dealing with leadership and administration. So, and as a female, and if I may say a Black female, Um, it kind of feels good to see someone like you. Um, Speaking from a female perspective, if anyone is familiar with, or as they still say, that glass ceiling, we have quite a few of us who are getting a sledgehammer, maybe a Mack truck, maybe some dynamite or
Right.
something or whatever, and we are still trying to blow it open, blow it wide open. Our um, interim chief. They have recently hired another chief from the New Orleans area for the Montgomery Police Department. But I just want to add that prior to that, during the search, we had in the history, and this was in Montgomery, Alabama, and with the Montgomery Police Department's history of having a Black female, Ramona Harris, who was the interim police chief
Right.
during that time during the search. So even with that short tenure that she had, Ms. Harris has done some tremendous things throughout the department, and quite a few other ladies that I have had the pleasure with when I was on patrol. I commended the young ladies, and some of them were younger than me. And yes, ladies, if you get in law enforcement, sometimes you don't join when you're young and virile.
Right.
When I joined, let's go back to when I joined Pardons and Parole. Well, first off, when I had my interview, and it's good to, when you start networking, go out on the websites and thoroughly see what the qualifications, what the guidelines are, what all you need to know. Because when I applied for probation and parole way back in 2003, and I went on my interview, I did not know that I had to go through a law enforcement required police academy.
Right.
So
Right.
that blew me away. And when I joined and accepted the position, it was a conditional position at first. So you have that 90-day type probationary period. And then it all bases on whether or not you're going to pass the police academy. So with anybody, male or female, please get yourself in shape if you're going into an agency where they're going to have you go through physical and agility type situations. So when I joined in 2003, I was in my 30s, early 30s,
Wow.
and
Wow.
um, running. And then I know I'm prior military, but when I, got in reserve mode, we didn't do that much PT. So I'm just going to be honest with that. And so I was in my late 30s when I did that. And then I was knocking close to 50 when I joined Montgomery Police Department. So I had to go through a mini type training with that as well. So ladies at any age, if you got that mindset and you got a village of good positive support, then the world can be your oyster in law enforcement. I recently met at a conference a young lady who also made history as being the first Black female to be one of the range masters for ATF's firing range. Those that have to
Wow.
qualify and get, you'll get
Right.
familiar with that too, ladies, whatever um, law enforcement field, whether it's sheriffs, corrections, policing, FBI, CIA. The firearms thing is also a must, and also successfully um, qualifying within the guidelines, whether it's a 70 or better, or 80 or better, or whatever it is in the time frame. But she made history in this by being, I think, in an area in North Carolina of being ATF's first Black female firearms instructor. So you can do it. She told us a story of how when she first started her first day, some of the men that were out there thought that she was getting in line to qualify with them. When she started to do class, they kind of did like a double take. And you will get that, ladies. You know, we got that stereotype that we are weaklings and this and that, but there are some females that can shoot. I know the last firearms training I had, and I'm gonna pop my collar even though I didn't have one on my uniform. I am a sharpshooter. So yay, but that's with let me stop talking about gun
Wow.
violence and all this going on. But that is, on the positive side. So all I can really tell you, ladies, is whatever line of work that you want to pursue, law enforcement is going to have its bumps in the road, from upper levels of management to your peers, to how you prepare yourself mentally, as well as physically. And if you're in in that spiritual type setting or yoga or whatever you do, it's going to be rather challenging. But the rewards do come out in the end. I've felt that type of bias stereotype. I remember going to lunch several years ago, and I had my weapon on my side. Well, I had to carry it anyway, but I was in uniform and was about to leave and was getting ready to pay for my meal. And a man came up and he was like, see, that weapon's a little bit bigger than you, little lady, and you're able to shoot it. You know what you know what to do with it. So you'll get those, types of remarks. I know going out on patrol, there's sometimes females are going to be more comfortable, which I thought was kind of, well, I guess I found it kind of shocking. But you're going to run across, let's just say if you are on patrol, I did come across where there were some, females, that when we went out on calls, there were some females, they sometimes prefer men. And you may come across that at times, or you may have a male citizen, feeling the same, the same type of way. I prefer to talk this one to that one, but as long as you know, maintain, do what what have a passion for it. I can say
Right.
that, have a passion for it. Biases can come in any form. It can be gender related, it can be age, um, it could be race, religion, politics, whatever the case may be. But I've seen a lot of ladies in action, subduing some folks. You may never underestimate anybody. You know, we've gone through, and even if you go through the academy, remember that they're not going to sugarcoat anything for you. The same physical and agility type situations that are set forth by the standards in your particular city or county or district, it's for everybody. So males and females may do the same push-ups, may do the same types of sit-ups, scenarios, and what have you. In the criminal justice system, um, I've seen so many women, women attorneys, judges,
Right.
who have created programs, who are, going out helping other people with other types of programs and ambitions. It's going to take a village.
Right.
Whatever your line of work that or course of study that you have, and you probably see that now being a working adult. And those of you that are mothers, even though I'm not one, I have a whole lot of nieces and nephews who got children of their own. Those working moms in law enforcement, I salute you once again, especially if you're getting in that line of work and obtaining your degree at the same time. I've said to, students of mine online that I admire some of you young ladies, or women who are balancing your career and your education at the same time. Um, just know in life that things happen. And, as you see with us, when we, reach out to you from the SNHU family, that is what we are. We
Right.
have to pay it forward. Um, my biggest joy is when you all get your diplomas and you go across the stage, whether we're still dealing with Zoom or Microsoft or in person, and you're sharing, you're reaching back out. You're still networking, and that you become a success story, and then you're paying it forward to someone else. So as a female, um, it's sometimes you may have to try, try harder, to prove, but don't let that just be your only goal. Let the work, and it's an old spiritual song that we used to sing in church. Let the work that you do speak for you. If you're, doing things the right way, setting goals, being oriented, being humble, being a selfless servant, to your profession, then let your work speak for you. Um, because you'll see in the long run that will sometimes speak more volumes than for anyone that could ever put you down, for anything. So this profession has grown. There's so many different avenues. I've seen women in corrections, like I said, in patrol, with the FBI, the Border Patrol, and even coming back, if you obtain your master's, coming back teaching criminal justice. As you can see, there's a lot of trailblazers within this division that I'm affiliated with now, that women come with all different points of view, personal experiences that they've shared, even the tragedies and things that they've encountered. So if you keep that good support system, keep it, get your networking on, really dive in and try to see what you can do. Also with internship, wherever you are currently at. And then you may not even know what field of criminal justice that you may want to pursue, because you may want to start and have an interest in one thing, and you could, by the end of you reaching your degree, or if you're, transferring or going into like a transition within your job, and you are currently in law enforcement or criminal justice field, then there may be different options and avenues that you can take, because you've been exposed to them now. Dive into different things. That's one thing I was glad that I was doing, that even when on patrol, I worked with people that were involved in the community policing division. I networked with people that work with crime scene investigation or peer support, the recruiting side, trying to see, be versatile. Don't be, reluctant to ask any questions. You can ask Dr. C. I mean,
I'll just give him your phone number. If you don't mind, I'll just pass him on to you.
how many times I've asked questions. So don't be hesitant,
Right.
to ask questions, and just keep, there's going to be some bumps in the road. Be realistic also about the pay, with law enforcement. Um, and as a female, like I said, it's just going to be challenging. There'll be people right next to you that are going to already pre-predict that you're going to be the one to break down or mess up or whatever. I personally, was in a situation where I guess being a female and the only female in a certain department I was in, that I was treated as a non-entity. you
Oh,
know I
right.
didn't even get the common courtesy of sometime hearing my name, my last name, or even my first name or whatever. But you stay humble. You keep focusing. Keep doing your job. Keep doing your work. Now, if there are some things that are making you uncomfortable, or the situation, but always speak out. Speak out, or follow your chain of command if there are some things that are just too, you know, you know, too much going on.
Right.
But just ladies, like I said, just if I can ever, be of any assistance, or if you have some other questions or whatever, just reach out to me on my, on email, and let me know. But keep the networking going, keep that village going, keep positive people around you, and you'll see, the fruits of your labor, as you venture into your chosen professions.
I'm actually speechless because I just, you gave us a tremendous encapsulation of your journey where you have overcome but obstacles, but you stayed the course, doctor. I mean, you hung in there. What How did you do that? When students get discouraged and they say, "Oh, I want to throw it in the towel, I want to quit," but you never quit. And I think you even said that you were at some point you were in the going to the academy like at age 50, etc. What kept you going?
um
And beyond that, I mean, not just your law enforcement, public safety, probation career, but also the fact that you went and pursued and earned a doctorate. I mean, what kept you going day to day?
um I guess, well, the power of prayer
Hmm.
and my family. My hero, and she is no longer here with me, but she's here, and she's a guardian angel. My sister was
Uh-huh.
my hero.
Right.
And I always wanted to, I mean, if I could be like a tenth of what she was, I wish I could be. My mother, I'm a first generation lady college graduate, where I had both of my parents didn't go to college,
Mhm.
but they instilled that you get an education, you work, and you treat people respectful. Now, I'm not going to say that there were times that I didn't bite my tongue on some occasions,
Right.
but and as anybody, we get that stereotype that we're kind of, animated and whatever, but
Right.
it's just you got to learn. I had to learn the hard way and in the long run, I guess dealing with age, that sometimes you have to learn to pick your battles,
Right.
learn to pick them.
Well, you know what you've done, and you may not have known it. You've created a legacy. There's no question about that. Number one, you
Oh.
remove. Well, you no seriously, right? I mean, it's an honorable and noble professions, plural, to be involved in public service. And very similar to that, what you're doing now at the academic level. You're not just teaching, you're inspiring. So
Mhm.
for all the lady or women students, et cetera, that are in the program here, I hope you all take heed to every point that Dr. Alexander said. But knowing what you said that's behind the scenes, what inspired you, what kept you going through those very rough times is absolutely unequivocally, it's just inspirational. And I almost felt like I was listening to my sister. And I tell you why, because my sister's a retired police captain out of Hallandale Beach, Florida.
Okay.
And I remember when she was going through some of those rough times, those just what you mentioned, what you outlined, the maybe the disdain or the surprise that a woman police officers in a particular role, they have certain responsibilities that normally have been reserved for the men.
Mhm.
She went through some very rough times, but stayed the course. And to your point, as long as you stay the course, our students, the SNU student, your students are going to be just like you. And that's why we do these. And that's why I bug the daylights out of our fantastic faculty and drive them crazy, because there's more than just teaching. There's more behind the scenes with these phenomenal people like Dr. Alexander, who has taken the time out of a very busy schedule to give everyone these pearls of wisdom.
Mhm.
This is recorded. It will be uploaded to my YouTube channel and distributed university wide. And they can watch it as many times as they want. And I encourage them to do that as well. So, with that said, Dr. Alexander, I cannot thank you enough on behalf of all of our students. Men and men too. Men, they need to listen to this stuff too. They do. This,
Yes,
like, yeah,
ladies.
that's right. No,
And
exactly. Yep. Stand up and be counted. So, Dr. Alexander, thank you so much. Any last words or words of wisdom that you'd like to share with the students?
No, just like I said, just once again, learn to pick your battles. Learn to pick your battles and just stay on course, because there's going to be somebody or somebody's, my pardon for my English counterparts. There's going to be somebody always waiting, trying to pre-predict you that you're going to
Mhm.
fail. And if you're human, that is what we're going to do at times. When you fail, you learn from it, you grow from it, quit dwelling on it, and move on. Move on.
Well, once again, thank you, Doc. That's just wow. I'm glad I recorded these things here. I've learned a lot too, and I always do when I get a chance to meet some of the great people in the faculty, on the faculty, and work with us and for us and alongside us all. So, with that said, Dr. Alexander, thank you so very much, and for your availability to students who may have questions. If they need anything, they can just email Dr. Alexander, and for nothing else, be like. With that said, have a great day, everybody, and thanks again, Doc.
All right. Thank you.